Well, I just did my I just did 1.0, 1.1, and 1.2 in Liam Ottley's AAA Accelerator course. Wow. Uh, it just made me realize how little I know. Walking into this course, I knew that I was starting from scratch, and it's very overwhelming because then you start realizing how little you know. Liam does a phenomenal job explaining it, and his content's organic. I mean, this is college, university level education in. I mean, I consider it APA format, but it might be MLA. But he has it formatted and configured to be a flow from start to finish, meaning from introduction just to words, definitions, theory, all the way up to practical applications and even the history. Starting from back in the day, he has a whole bunch of organically made charts that show like the very start of AI technology and the players involved, and kind of it just like segues off to this huge spider web of all these different AI companies and technologies, and he makes all the links to where you can use like this program to do this and this to do that, and it's just it's insane, man. I just brought my computer setup, which is 6 screens, and my desk that goes up and down in my entryway in my small little 2 bedroom apartment. I literally have my front door right there, and there's my shoes. But the workshop down on the other side of the property that I used to have my computer set up in is just too far, and I just wanted it to be up here in my house so I could just walk out from the kitchen or from my son's room and just come here and do my work. So it's a little bit more convenient for me. But yeah, I mean, the classes I reviewed. So the introduction is 57 minutes. That's 1.0. 1.1, so these are courses. These are like basically small classes within the course content. And so it starts with 1.1, 1.0, which is the introduction. That's 57 minutes, right? And I mean, it's like full of good content. So it's like you can't just skip through it or else you'd literally be lost. And then 1.1, the second course, is the AI landscape. That's where he just gives you the layout of everything AI related. And his thought process or premise for what he feels are commercial applications and opportunities that someone with no code experience could potentially capitalize on in the current market right now before mainstream catches up. And then I got through 1.2, which is LLM theory, and that's kind of what I was going to give a quick response on, which is called large language models. And basically, the theory behind it, I wrote a little bit here. The large language models are a type of artificial intelligence that's designed to process and generate human-like text. They're built by using this thing called deep learning, and that's there's like different types of deep learning architectures, and like the main one that Liam really emphasizes was made by Google back in I think like 2017, but don't quote me on that. And that's called Transformer, and that's kind of like your OpenAI ChatGPT or your DeepSeek, the new Chinese one. And then Meta's got Llama, and Google has BERT, which I thought was a funny name. They basically, these models, they train on massive data sets, of like text from all different sources, and then it like enables it to like understand that text. And I also wrote semantics and syntax. And I think semantics, I forgot the definition behind that, but it's like some type of correlation between words. Um, the core mechanism behind the large language model is self-attention. He goes behind like normal attention and self-attention. So it's like two different types of attention, which is like a type or a protocol or something, and it allows like the model to weigh different words either based on like where they are in the sentence or like the way that they like relate to other words. So I mean, it's like mind blowing stuff. I'm trying to keep it PG, so I'm not swearing, but and then there's like supervised and unsupervised learning techniques, which is like a word prediction, and he went over like fine tuning and tuning. I mean, just all these little like pieces of the actual way that they developed these AI technologies, which is just way over my 39-year-old head. Um, but for a layman, for someone who's uneducated in this field, Liam did a great job explaining it. And the one thing that I really appreciated about his content was that he developed this whole book, and then he reads through it and then gives examples and stops and kind of gives some different um, ideas or concepts or examples behind whatever he just read. So it was like really easy to follow along, even though it was like a lot of content that I had no idea what he was talking about. So then I also kind of identified some like case studies, and I know that Liam created like a software as a service, and it's for like chatbots and stuff. You should check it out. It's called Agentive. And so like a case study for AI is like chatbots and virtual assistants. So whenever you're like on a website and it like pops up, just, hey, I want to talk to you. That's this AI stuff. And he's kind of showing us how, at least the very beginning of it, how to make that. I know that lawyers use it, medical research and diagnostics. So they use flow charts where they just compile all this data from previous illnesses and symptoms and everything like that. And then it can spit out a rather accurate diagnosis or prognosis of what's going on with the patient. So I thought that was like insanely valuable. And I'm just like sitting here thinking about all the people that are going to lose their jobs because AI is going to be able to do all of this. For legal, they can scan, summarize, and analyze legal documents, and like they're even more efficient and faster than like a human being doing it. So just imagine that, paralegal or and then for all the social media people out there, like it can literally generate content, unique content. So it can like make content for you. It can respond to content. It can create a whole bunch of stuff. It's just like it completely negates any individual person's purpose or having to make that content, because you can just have AI do it. So it's like mind blowing how crazy this industry is, and that's what really gravitated me to get into this course. Also, like I just want to kind of break down like the process, at least from the way I gathered it. So I think it starts with like data collection. Like the model is trained on a huge amount of data from books, articles, internet, anything that you put in there, chat history, anything. It just collects all the data, and then it like pre-processes that data through like embedding and tokenization, which is a whole different topic. But the text is tokenized, which is like broken down into smaller units that is assigned like a number. And then on like the way it's all kind of like put together is, imagine this like three-dimensional like graph where they're just like putting points of like different letters, like the lazy dog jumps over the fox, or the fox jumps over the lazy dog, like. And so that sentence will be broken up into little portions that all have coordinates that go onto this like graph. And it's not just 3 dimensions. I think it was something like 1,500 dimensions. So it's like multi-layered, and every letter or combination of letters, either it's 3 or 4 letters, they all have a numerical association that gets onto this graph. And the AI is just like bouncing all those ideas or all the different pieces of content like really, really fast simultaneously. And that's how it creates and predicts like different outcomes, which is just crazy. So that's like pre-processing it. So the text is tokenized and then cleaned to remove irrelevant and sensitive information. And then the training, that's like where the deep learning gets involved. And the model predicts the next word in the sequence or fills in missing words to learn the language patterns. And then for images, it like identifies like, is this an elephant or is this a tiger? You know, so it's just crazy. And it breaks it down per pixel. That's a whole different topic. So that's just mind blowing. And then fine tuning the model is refined by using like a domain specific data and reinforced learning techniques to align responses with like the human purpose or intent behind that. And then inference, which is like after you get all of that put into there, like, so once it's trained, the model generates text by predicting word sequences based on given prompts. And the prompts are what we enter in as the end user for the inquiry or for the input. And then optimization and deployment, which I put further improvements such as reducing bias and improving efficiency are made before deploying the model for like real world use. So it's just kind of like rinse and repeat, right? And you just keep continuing to refine it and optimize it. And then I just kind of wrote like a conclusion from what I thought. I said large language models continue to evolve, driving innovation across industries while also raising ethical concerns about bias, misinformation, and responsible use of AI. As research progresses, the future of large language models promises even more sophisticated and human-like interactions in various domains. So someone like me who's an entrepreneur who has millions of dollars under management for the HVAC industry specifically, I've just identified like so many different uses to make the front end of the operation more efficient and less costly. The back end, so all my data and all like my mundane and redundant tasks, I can automate a majority, if not all of that, which could really allow me to focus on sales and driving the business forward. So cutting costs to make more money and also cutting the amount of time it takes for me and my other employees to do a job. It's insane. So that's it. That's basically me on the first 3 chapters, 1.0, which is introduction, 1.1, which is the AI landscape, and 1.2, which is LLM theory. And out of respect for Liam's course, I'm not going to send any content. I'm just going to provide reviews of his content, honest feedback and reviews of me being a student of his. And that's kind of what this first part of my YouTube channel will be, is just being a student and responding to his course and hoping that it helps him attract more students and maybe hopefully allows me to kind of keep track of my progress and just kind of lets me kind of diary or journal my experiences, because this is very overwhelming and I'm choosing my very little bit of time from my full-time job, my part-time job, and my son. I'm taking a little bit of free time, like today's a Friday night at 12 o'clock and I'm here, so I'm extremely dedicated. And I'm going to get through this and you can follow along. So thank you, everyone, and have a good night.